Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I know it's late. I know it's the day before weigh-ins, but I'm gonna do a 10-minute breakdown on UFC on Fox 24. Demetrius Johnson versus Wilson Hice for the flyweight championship, for the UFC flyweight championship. Thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you for clicking on the video. Thank everyone for last week. I dropped 2 videos. I got almost collectively, 800 views. So thank you so much. So I know to some people that's not a lot, but to me, I've never gotten so many videos. So thank you so much. Make sure to check out that video. It's UFC 210 breakdown. Also Lomachenko versus Jason Sosa breakdown. Check those videos out. Thank you guys for always coming back and supporting me. Those who come back every week and like the videos, thank you so much. And those who don't, please give me your feedback. I'd love to hear it. Good or bad, negative or positive, I don't care. I want you guys' feedback because I love making these videos for you guys. I love breaking these fights down. So without further ado, we're gonna get into this first fight. Jeremy Stevenson versus Hinata Malcano. Great jiu-jitsu from Brazil. 10-0 undefeated and has never tasted defeat. I had watched some of Hinata's fights. He's pretty good. He's very good jiu-jitsu, black belt jiu-jitsu specialist, but he has some holes in his game, and that would be his striking. And when he's fighting a veteran like Jeremy Stevenson, who's also top five in the featherweight division, who has great cardio, heavy hands, good striking, great ground and pound, who just came off a competitive loss against Frankie Edgar, who was a former featherweight champion, of course. And while Frankie Edgar has really good boxing, really good movement and head movement, Jeremy was still able to catch him and drop him a couple times in that fight. So I don't see how Hinata is going to be able to deal with his striking. I think Jeremy's going to hurt him early and take him out early. So I am picking Jeremy Stevens to win this fight. No disrespect to Hinata. I just think it's a big step up, but he's young in his career. I think he's going to be able to rebuild. Maybe top 5, maybe fight someone out of the top 10 to take it a little bit more slow. I think it's going to be a big step up, but I could be wrong. But I am picking Jeremy Stevens to win this fight. Moving on to the middleweight division. Great fight. Great fight for the middleweight division. Jacare Sosa versus Robert Whittaker. Great fight. I love this fight. Interesting fight for Jacare. Here's why. One, he's on a 2-fight win streak. His only loss was against Joe Romero, which was a split decision loss, which I thought he won that fight. And then, of course, after the fight, Yo tested positive for steroids, so that's kind of a blemish on Yo Romero's record. That he did pop positive for steroids, but he also had a great submission win over Tim Bosch, TKO Vito Belfort. Again, all 3 top 5 in the division. He's submitted Chris Camozzi. He's submitted Gegard Mousasi, who just beat Chris Weidman in a controversial TKO win last weekend. But another interesting fact about Jacare is that this is his last fight on his UFC contract, which means 2 things. If he wins this fight this weekend, he's kind of in limbo. It's kind of a lose-lose situation, if you will, because if he beats Robert Whittaker, it's a lose-lose situation because Whittaker is very dangerous. This is a very dangerous fight for him. If he gets caught standing, Whittaker has the power to knock Jacare out. Plain and simple. If not, hurt him and then ground and pound him later to finish the fight. Number 2, he wins this fight, and he's kind of in limbo because right now the middleweight division is held up because GSP versus Bisping is already set. It's already set, but there's no date. So when that date would be, it's kind of up in the air. This is where it runs into the problem. If GSP and Bisping is already set and Yo Romero's next in line, that means even if he gets past Robert Whittaker, he would arguably probably have to fight Yo Romero again in the summertime, varying what the UFC wants to do with the title. But why would he want to go through all that? Fight a dangerous Robert Whittaker. Fight Yo Romero again. If he wins, of course, fight Yo Romero again, which is another dangerous fight, just so he can probably lose either one of these fights and not get a title shot. He has one fight left on his contract. That means if Bellator comes and snatches him up, guarantees him, hey, you've been on a tear, you're top five middleweight, you're gonna get a title shot if you come with us. We're gonna pay you this much, you get your sponsors back, and you get you get the first fight would be a title fight. That sounds like a pretty sweet deal. Bellator's already picking up a lot of fighters. They just picked a lot of UFC fighters. They just picked up Lorenz Larkin, who's top 10, top 5, not top 10 welterweight, top 10 if not top 5 welterweight. They just picked up, of course, Roy McDonald. They just picked up, or not just picked up, but they picked up what's his name, top 10 heavyweight Matt Mitrione. Bunch of UFC fighters. They just signed Fedor. They're on a tear. They're really on a tear, and it's very dangerous. It's very interesting grounds for Jacare. I think if he gets past Robert Whittaker, he's gonna say deuce to UFC. You heard it here first, or maybe he does. Maybe it'll be in the best interest if UFC tries to keep Jacare on their roster. I think because Jacare is a very good fighter, great jiu-jitsu, very entertaining, pretty heavy-handed, regardless of his jiu-jitsu. So very good overall middleweight. So moving on to Robert Whittaker. He's been on a tear in the division, honestly. He just got a TKO win over Derek Brunson. Hatel Natal got a victory over him. TKO. Well, he went to decision with Uriah Hall, who's the top prospect in middleweight a couple of years back. Brad Tavares also a tough winner. Oh yeah, and Robert Whittaker is also a tough winner. He won the Ultimate Fighter a couple of years back. He's very strong, very powerful. He used to fight at welterweight, but now he is at middleweight. I think he looks way better here at middleweight too. So overall, great power, great grappling, very strong grappling. And I'm gonna go out on a limb, even though I just boast up Jacare so much. I am gonna pick Robert Whittaker to win this fight by early stoppage. I think he's gonna catch Jacare coming in early, probably drop him ground and pound, if not knock him out, because he has that devastating knockout power. So I'm gonna go against all my better judgment and pick Robert Whittaker to win this fight by upset, TKO or KO in the first round. We're gonna move on to the next fight, which is the Karate Hottie Michelle Waterson versus Rose Thug Namajunas. Great fight for the strawweight division. Michelle Waterson, who's just came off of great submission victory in the first round against Paige Van Zandt, who has been plagued by injuries, but she is a former Invicta champion when she was at Invicta. She has a great resume, has fought Jessica Panay. She lost, she won by submission, has been in the game for a long time. Unfortunately, she hasn't been able to compete much in UFC due to injury and other things. I think contract negotiations, I'm not quite sure. But when she came back and fought after I think a 2-year hiatus. She came back and fought Paige Van Zandt, who is arguably the superstar Paige Van Zandt is very talented, don't get me wrong, but she is the superstar of that division. Pretty face, was on Dancing with the Stars. Very good fighting, very good grappling and striking skills. Very young, but she was able to just kind of slice through her real easy, able to take her back and choke her out in the first round. So it just goes to show you how good Michelle Waterson actually is. She hasn't been inactive as much, but this is a great fight for Thug Rose Namajunas, who's arguably one of the top 10, top 5 in the strawweight division. She also has a win over Paige Van Zandt. What's interesting about Rose is that she hasn't really let off the gas. when you think about her last 5 fights, she fought Carolina Kowalkiewicz, who is a phenomenal striker. While they made it a split decision, I don't think it was a split decision. I think Carolina actually dominated that fight from Bella Bell. It's surprising that they made a split decision. Nonetheless, she was able to hang with her all three rounds with a phenomenal striker. She just beat. She also fought Tisha Torres, top 10 in that division as well. Of course, submitted Paige Van Zandt. She got a submission win over Angela Hill, who just got back in the UFC. Lost by submission to Carla Esparza. So you think about Rose's career and you think, wow, she really hasn't stepped off the gas. She's going forward, fighting top 5, if not at least top 10 fighters every single fight. And what I think, she is very talented. She's also very young, and she lets her emotions carry out. You can see her emotions in the fight sometimes, and what I want to see from Rose is her to take a step back. I am picking Michelle Waterson to win this fight. I think she's going to be able to submit her within the first or second round, because I think her grappling and her grappling is a little bit better than Rose. She's more experienced. Also, while Rose has very good striking, Waterson's striking is a little bit more dynamic, as in she started from karate. She's really used to that point style fighting, so she gets in and out very good, very similar to Wonderboy Thompson and Lyoto Machida, who are also karate backgrounds. And I think that's really going to offset Rose's pace and not be able to set up her bigger shots. And once that happens, I think the grappling is going to go in the favor of Waterson as well. I think she's overall a better fighter than Rose. No disrespect to Rose, but I think Rose needs to take a step back. She's young. She has a whole career ahead of her, and I think if she loses this fight, I want to see her go back out and fight someone not from top 10. Not that she's not good enough to beat anyone in the top 10. I just want to see her develop a little bit more slower and not being thrown to the wolves like a Carolina Esparza, like a Angela Hill, like a Carolina Kowalkiewicz. I just like seeing the younger fighters develop a little bit more. When you throw them out to the wolves, sometimes it's either sink or swim. And when they don't swim, it puts a hole in their record, because they're fighting these top fighters who obviously they're not bad to lose to, but I think it just hurts the career. It mentally puts a drain on their head, saying, hey man, I can't beat these top fighters. When she's very talented, I think she needs to step back and take some time and fight someone outside of the top 10 division. Other than that, I think Michelle Waterson has great skills, great grappling, great jiu-jitsu, great striking. She's overall better fighter and more well-rounded fighter. So I am picking the Karate High to win this fight. That's going to be a great fight nonetheless. I think that might be fight of the night, if anything. So make sure to check that out. Moving on to the main event, which is Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse Johnson versus Wilson Hice for the flyweight UFC Championship of the World. Demetrius Johnson, what can I say, man? Probably my top 5, obviously top 5. I mean, pound for pound list is very biased, but probably my top 1 or 2 in my pound for pound list. He's on a 9-fight win streak. Well, actually 10-fight win streak. He's defended his title 9 times consecutively, 9 times. Last opponent was Tim Elliott, who's also fighting on this card. It was a very competitive, lopsided fight. He got hurt early with Elliott was able to hurt Demetrius early with a body shot, and but after that it was pretty much all Mighty Mouse. He TKO'd Henry Cejudo, who at that point of his career people thought he was the most dangerous fighter, because he was a gold medalist in wrestling, had a very good Muay Thai, but Demetrius Johnson went in there and clinched him up, did some work on the body, kneed him, and got Cejudo out of there relatively easy. He got a win over John Dodson, the only guy to ever drop him. Well, not drop him, but the only guy to ever really hurt Mighty Mouse. Again, Benavidez just been tearing it up, and if he defends his title successfully this weekend, he will tie Anderson Silva for the most title defense in UFC history, which is 10. And I think he's able to tie it fairly easy and probably surpass it. Again, he has great takedown defense, great takedowns, and he's very good striking, great Muay Thai, great grappling. But one thing that I think is gonna make the difference in this fight, it's the scrambles. When he fought Tim Elliott, Tim Elliott took him down a couple times, but he was able to scramble. If you are able to take Mighty Mouse down, you can't keep him there. He's gonna pop right back up and scramble out, maybe even get a reversal on you. That's how overall well-rounded Demetrius Johnson is. And while Wilson Hice is a veteran in the game, very, very good jiu-jitsu, I just don't see him winning this fight. Again, he can get him on the ground and be able to. He has very good submission. He has very good submissions. He just submitted a Hector Sandoval. Very impressive. Was able to cut right through him, get his back, and choke him out. But I just don't see him. I just don't see how he beats Demetrius Johnson. And I hate to be this negative towards Hice. I just think his skill set is not on level, and that it may be the amount of talent that's in the flyweight division, which is not much left. Demetrius Johnson has pretty much cleaned it out. But one thing I will give Wilson is that he does train with Dominic Cruz, which is very interesting because Dominic Cruz is the last person to ever beat Mighty Mouse, which was of course at 135, not at 125. So they say they're training partners. I haven't seen any video or footage of them training together. I wasn't able to find any pictures, so I don't know how close they are. But from what I saw on the UFC All Access or whatever it's called, that they do train frequently together, and that so maybe Dominic Cruz able to give him a couple tips to see how he's able to offset and beat DJ. But again, I really don't see how he's gonna be able to beat him. Just too much tools in his toolbox, and I think Demetrius Johnson is able to submit him or TKO him in the second to third round. So that's my pick. I'm gonna make a pick. I'm gonna pick Demetrius Johnson by TKO in the second round. There you go. There we go. That's my picks for this weekend. UFC Fox on 24. Wow, I just did that completely backwards. UFC 24 on Fox. Thank you guys again for coming by, and make sure to like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Leave a comment whether you like it, or you think I'm stupid. Leave your picks at the bottom. If you're a UFC fan, leave who you guys think are going to win and why they're going to win. Thank you guys. Have a good weekend. I'm out.